Erick Erickson is with us, host of the Erick Erickson Show, author of show notes on Substack. I subscribe and read it diligently. You should as well. Erick, welcome back. There is that saying, I believe it was Patton, that a good plan executed today is better, or violently executed today is better than a great plan executed next week. Is that how Trump has gotten so much done?
Yeah, to a degree. He's also got a superpower that other presidents don't have. He was president, sat out for 4 years, and came back. Almost enough to make the Democrats wish maybe he had won re-election in 2020. He's had 4 years to think about what he wanted to do, 4 years to see how people reacted to him, 4 years to think about the team he wanted to put in place, the loyalists he wanted behind him. He got burned out on the traditional establishment Republican advice the first term. He's gone with people who haven't necessarily been there before, but were hungry for the fight. And yeah, they're steamrolling. He's also, despite all the talk now, Democrats are suddenly concerned about the president's mental fitness. He's got a way more energy than the last guy who was president.
Steamrolling may be a good analogy to it. I think there's also something else in that in his first term, he cared a lot what the media thought of him. And he still does. He still talks to Maggie Haberman, why I don't understand, but he does. But there is less of a care factor. The kids have he gives zero blanks phraseology for this. But I don't see Alligator Alcatraz in Trump 1.0. It's center stage Trump 2.0. There's so many photo ops like this. Is it that the culture in America has changed or that the politics have changed?
A little bit of both. The culture is more abrasive. He's an abrasive personality. He thrives on the confrontation. He loves the fight. The politics have certainly changed as well. He's term limited. Despite the hysteria you hear on other networks, he's term limited. He knows he's got a limited amount of time. He knows if the Republicans lose next year, his term is largely up. He becomes a lame duck. And the conversation shifts to who's the next Republican. So he's trying to get as much done now, knowing the clock is ticking.
And gone are all the norms, right? And look, to be fair, Barack Obama pushed a lot of the norms to the side, then Trump pushed more, then Joe Biden pushed more, and now Trump is pushing even more. The norms may not matter. But what is interesting, you said steamrolling, but I find it interesting, and we'll talk to the Democrats later about this, but how quickly Democrats are giving up on these beliefs that were so important to them, or we're told they're so important. Take, for example, that boys be allowed to compete in girls' sports. It was a civil right, trans rights, or civil rights. You're a bigot if you don't believe them. And today, the Secretary of Education announced that the University of Pennsylvania had caved, full stop. Take a listen.
The university will be sending a personal apology to every female athlete who was forced to compete against a man.
In some ways, has Trump broken the opposition? If so, what is next?
I think he has, but also I think, Leland, there's something else going on here too. A lot of the reason a lot of companies, businesses, universities did what they did is there was a fear of the left in the country. There had been a feeling that there was a cultural shift and Donald Trump was an anomaly. The Russians stole it. It was illegitimate. And so there was a lot of bullying from the left. Suddenly, Donald Trump not only wins, he wins the popular vote. He wins in places he wasn't supposed to win. He wins with a diverse coalition he wasn't supposed to have. And a lot of people who they felt bullied by the left, they're not making changes contrary to what you hear some places that, well, they're bullied by Trump. There's actually, to some degree, a relief that it turns out that the country wasn't where it was. And these companies and universities, they don't have to align the way they thought they had to align. And that's caught the Democrats off guard. The Democrats still believe they're a multi-racial, blue-collar coalition, and they're not. They're upper-income, white-educated, college-educated Americans. They're not the party they think they are.
Well, and that is becoming apparent. There's a flip side to this, which is that Trump is now, and Republicans are now, or MAGA, if you want to differentiate Republicans and conservatives, are the party of the working class. And there is a lot of reporting, and it depends on how you read this big, beautiful bill and exactly how things work out, which we don't know yet, that a lot of those people may get hurt That's not us saying it. That's the champion of the working class that we have had on so often, a big Trump supporter, Bat-Younger Sargon. Take a listen. Okay, we don't have that soundbite, but she had gone on at length that if cuts to Medicaid happen, if rural hospitals shut down, again, possible but not promised, that this is going to be really terrible for Donald Trump and for Republicans over the next year or two. Are Republicans, and is especially Trump in the White House, playing a little too fast and loose with, we want the win, we need the tax cuts, we kind of don't care how we get there?
To a degree, both sides do every time. I mean, the Democrats have repeatedly reconciliation is a trap for the party in the majority, and every party falls into it. But at the same time, I do think that there's a constituency that gets voice in opposition to legislation like this. I'm not a fan of the bill myself, but I don't think Republicans are going to win or lose next November based on whether or not this legislation passes or not and the details of it. I just don't think so. And they've also got no tax on tip to sell in there, no tax on overtimes, reductions in Social Security taxes. So they've got their own selling points. Republicans just never like to sell reconciliation because they always come away from the process hating its guts. And they're going to have to learn to actually sell the bill. But they've got Donald Trump who can say, I made these promises, I kept these promises, and trust me, working class, I took care of you and I will.
The last point to this, and I think it goes along with this, is what is more important, the policy and the process and the results, or the photo ops and the numbers? We had Ken Cuccinelli on last night, hardly a dove when it comes to border enforcement and immigration. It would be as hardcore MAGA and deportation focused as you get. And he said, Alligator Alcatraz is great for a photo op. It does not drive the numbers that Donald Trump wanted in terms of deportation. The Department of Homeland Security is not putting that process in place to get the kind of numbers that Trump wants. I'll ask you, at some point, does the optics matter more, especially when it comes to something like immigration, than actually the policy to the MAGA base?
I think the optics matter a great deal, but look at immigration. It's no longer considered a top 5 issue for most Americans. He's been so successful at it, 0 border crossings last month. He can kind of check the box there and rest on his laurels a little bit. He's in the optics of these things. Remember, if Donald Trump goes out tomorrow and tells everyone that this bill is no tax on tips and it's his promise kept, people are going to pay attention to that. And that's something I think Republicans are frustrated with. Next year's not going to be about Donald Trump. It's going to be about them. Donald Trump can sell himself. He can't necessarily sell those other Republicans. So he's going to have to figure out how to sell those other Republicans through him between now and next November.
Yeah, and as Bill O'Reilly pointed out, even though Trump has not necessarily always been a great campaigner for other Republicans, this will be the moment that he needs to be, because if he loses the midterms, it's all over. Erick, thank you as always. It's great to see you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.